Bum, 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 bum. It's the children of the Beast podcast. And we're back.
We're back.
The Children of the Beast podcast, episode 10?
10 or 11. 10 or 11.
Double digits.
Not 100%. I think so. I think
we're double digits, baby.
Sure. Yeah.
What's up? Welcome back to the show. I am your host, Andrew, joined here with my big brother, like always, Carlos. How are y'all doing?
Hello.
We are sitting here drinking the fine. Let's shout out to the beer we're drinking.
Yes.
It is the fine Oktoberfest out of Astronomy Airworks. It is called Get Your Ass to Marzen because it's a Marzen beer and they're space themed.
And I'll tell you one thing. This is a tip of the hat to
Matthew Brady.
To the brewer.
Matthew Brady. There's one other dude. I don't know.
While I did get you started drinking beers and such,
I've surpassed all of you.
Me and you don't often collide in our beer sensibilities.
Yeah, true. We usually have
this
different
beer.
tastes.
We collide.
Yeah.
We collide.
Well, it's a delicious
We're
beer.
in collusion. Colliding.
Collusion?
Collusion.
There's no collusion here.
There's definitely collusion. This collusion's been going on for years, Senator. Your Honor, he's an example.
You're dumb.
So yeah, man. No, but and see, normally we've been pretty good about doing this every single week, right?
Yeah.
But we run into some extenuating circumstances, man. You know, life happens.
Technology fails.
Technology.
Like my phone right now is failing.
It's rebooting. His phone's rebooting right now, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, you know, life happened. We had a technology failure one day. And then there was another day where I think I had a thing.
You had a thing.
Oh, yeah. I had a thing where I canceled. And then the next week, the technology canceled us.
Yeah.
So anyway, but we're back. We're
hot.
Committed.
We're fired. Fired up.
Very much so. I'm ready,
You know what I want to
I'm ready
talk
for
about
Sober October. I mean, of course, I'm drinking a beer right now, which may seem hypocritical to most of you.
Hypocritical?
And guess what? It is hypocritical. You know why?
Hypocritical. It's like a hippo.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking like hypochondriac.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because in my mind's hypochondriac.
You're a hypochondriac?
And then I was like, hip hop anonymous. And then I got all confused.
Okay, let's move on. Let's move on before we get stuck here.
I got all confused for a second there with my hips.
Let's talk about UFC first. Let's get this out of the way. Because
there's so much fight talk. But we got to start with the man of the hour. The man of the hour. The man of the hour is
Style Bender.
And last night, something very magical happened with Style Bender in my household. My wife and I have running jokes that have to do with movies that we watch, like many couples do, right?
Sure.
One of them is there's two parts to this, which we can have a conversation with 2 words and 1 accent. It's a Russian accent, and the 2 words are crumb and frost. Now, crumb, of course, Borat was always talking about his crumb.
Oh my God.
and it's hilarious to us, you know, like anytime.
Did you see this Borat 2 coming out?
I can't wait for it.
I can't wait either. Okay,
but anytime anybody says anything about crumb, even if we're watching like a baking show, we're like, the crumb, you know what I mean? And then there's this other fucking movie, which it's like, I'm addicted to rom-com fucking silly movies, right?
Yeah.
One of my heroes is Matthew McConaughey. Shout out. I know you're watching, my man. And anytime, you're welcome. I work out too, by the way. But anyway, so this particular Matthew Mac movie, he's an advertising executive who makes a bet to land a client within. So he in this movie, he's the one that sells booze and cars and sports, right? In the advertising agency. Yeah. But he's trying to land a diamond thing. And so the boss is like, well, you know how to sleep with women, but what do you know about them falling in love with you? So they make a bet with the other girls that want to land his account that he can find a woman and get her to fall in love with him in 10 days, and thus proving he can sell diamonds because he can sell any woman. Right?
Oh God, okay.
The lady that owns the diamond shop, right? The account holder is this old like Russian lady that wears wigs, and she's like fabulous and rich as fuck and everything, right? And so at some point, a third person gets involved in this, which is that Goldie Hawn's daughter, Kate Hudson. She writes for a magazine, which is called How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, where she gets a guy to fall in love with her and then dumps him within 10 days. She's writing an article about that. Incredible. She doesn't know that she's the bet for the diamond thing. He doesn't know that he's the subject of her story. They get together.
They fall in love.
Right. So at some point, when they start actually falling in love, she says something about a diamond, right? And she goes, what is this? Or her dog or something. He's like, oh, that's her Frost, which is like a little rhinestone collar or something the dog has, right? So then this guy steals it. He's like, Frost, that's it. So he walks into the fucking the pitch meeting with his coworkers and he's like, ladies and gentlemen, I got it. frost yourself. And so then when he says it to the lady that owns the company, because she has a Russian accent, she says frost. So in this house, frost yourself. All over Macron.
Okay, so now relate this back to Stylebender.
So Stylebender beats the fuck out of Costa. And what did he do? He frosted his cum all over the corner, bro. His cum was frosted all over the corner. And we rejoiced in this house. Sorry, it took a long time to get to that. But that's where we're at, baby. Frosting ourselves. I cum all over.
Oh my God. You know what that reminds me of?
What?
The Arnold Schwarzenegger line. Of him getting his pump on all the time and how he comes over. And
very similar. In the same vein. See, now you're here. Now you're
the same vein?
We're together. We're back. This is how it happens. This is like if Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan met each other at the playground and they haven't talked to each other in years, right? And somebody tosses a ball and Andrew's just like and I'm bald like MJ.
Oh, if
so
you're
in
only
this scenario, I'm MJ.
I feel like I'm Dennis Rodman then with the hair.
A little bit. Yeah.
But if you're only listening to the audio.
No, all joking aside though, the goddamn those leg kicks, bro.
Yeah.
And I gotta give it up.
I mean, Costa just sat there and ate them.
This one back a little bit to before we started this podcast. I started doing podcasting with you through an old friend of yours at a different podcast. And you guys kind of started you got hype on Izzy right away. He was more hype on Izzy. He was more hype on City Kickboxing or whatever.
Well, City Kickboxing is a gym that's from.
No, what is it? What's the name of their?
It is City Kickboxing.
It is City Kickboxing? Yeah. Okay.
That was all me. I was the one hyped on Izzy and City Kickboxing.
Yeah, but I remember one of the podcasts, our co-host came in and he's like, do you guys think that's like the best gym in the world? And while I got to give it up, they're very good. Obviously, the results speak for themselves. I kind of break it down a little further because I'm biased. And I'm a striker. Yeah. I like to strike. And I just don't remember the last time that we had grappling-based dominance the way we have striking-based dominance right now.
What do you mean? Like, I feel like...
Because I feel like you can't just be... Like, you can't get away with what Costa tried to get away with, which is what I consider to be the classic trap that a lot of grapplers fall into. Grapplers have a lot of regard for each other, right? And like a wrestler respects their jiu-jitsu guy and jiu-jitsu respects... But because they're such good athletes, a lot of the times a knockout can come easy.
Sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
But there's a difference between knocking out other people that are learning the striking game and then knocking out guys that have 100 fights like Izzy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's
levels.
The cliche, there's levels to this fucking game. But I mean, that's what showed yesterday to me. First of all, there is no ailment you can have cupping done on your calves for that is not evident that's for your lower extremity. I don't need to know if it's a plantar fascia or the Achilles. Yeah. I know it's leg-related, motherfucker, because I see the cups there. Yeah. So how about don't do that before the fucking... Like, you might as well put a bullseye. He knew exactly where to get you. Right where the cups were. Boom! Got douche! Boom! Boom! It was 9 times I counted on the first round.
It was a thing of beauty. And he sat there and ate him. And was like, oh, give me a more.
No, not only that, but your attitude, buddy, his antics in that fight.
Do you see the coaches? Before and pre-fight, him dancing around like a fool. They fucked
up. And that's the thing about it is that I like everything about last night's fight. I'm fucking geeked out. This is like taking me back to Anderson Silva days, dude. Because this motherfucker, the way he handles himself, I like. Now, I'll be the first one to say, not my type of motherfucker. Probably would never drink a beer with him. We don't listen to the same fucking music. We're not into the same shows. Nothing. Yeah. Right? But I like the way that he handles his business because he's fucking upfront. You know? Yeah. Did you watch the press conference?
Of course I did. Of course I did.
Yeah, man. Like, that was, to me, pound for pound, best press conference I've ever seen.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Because he was not braggadocious, but he was confident. He was humble and he was assertive. I like that. I like his stance on weight cutting. I despise weight cutting. No, to me, in my ideal promotion, you would stand on the scale prior to the octagon, and you'd be contracted to be that weight for 3 fucking days until the fight.
Sure,
not just this little fucking game they played. Yeah. Because
that's a good way to get around the whole weight cutting thing. Well, that's actually a great idea.
Yeah, here's one thing that we don't say, right? The fact that you want to be bigger than your opponent makes you a little bit of pussy. I understand it's part of the game currently. And that doesn't mean that you are a pussy. But relying on that,
you're taking an advantage.
That being a primordial part of your game, maybe you're in the wrong game, man. Because guess what? My 7-year-old knows he can beat the 3-year-old. You know, because he's got him by fucking 10 pounds. So,
and like when it's
different,
and like also right when it's a 4 to 5 pound weight difference at weigh-ins on fight night, that turns into a 10 to 15 weight pound difference.
And it's incremental as you go up in weight classes, right? Because if you're a 35er and your opponent cut a lot of weight, he's gonna be 55. Yeah. But if you're a 55er, you could potentially have a 180-pound man in front of you on fight night. That's not 155.
It's not fair.
That ain't 155. And they criticize boxing because every 3 pounds. But maybe there's something to that. But maybe there's something to a couple more weight divisions and restrictions like what the champ said. The champ said 90% deduction. Fuck you guys. You're playing a game. He's right. Not everybody in MMA is broke. A lot of them are very good at that.
No, and the fact that he said that immediately following, not even just in the press conference, but immediately after the fight, he went up to Dana White and made it a point. Like you could hear him jabbering to him. It was great. It was great.
And something else that I've talked about in this podcast, right? Which is some of the people he criticized are from his own gym. That's how you fucking do shit, ladies and gentlemen. Not just pointing at, he didn't say, those pussies at ATT, those pussies at Extreme Couture. If that was politics, this would have never happened because no woke person can criticize publicly another woke person, and no right person can criticize another right person publicly. They might do it in private, but in public, nobody can say, you know what? I'm a fucking leftist. In this particular incident, the officer was right. No, that's not something that anyone can have the integrity of saying, and vice versa.
Charles Barkley did. Shaq did.
I love fucking Charles. I love Charles Barkley. Yes. But I'm saying it's
no, for sure.
You know, the minority.
For the majority.
And I just think that, like, for me, I want my kids to also, I'm not excluding what we already have, which is what I disagree with, right? Where the righty only fucking sides with the righty and the lefty only sides with the lefty. I want my boys to grow up seeing that it's okay to criticize your side, and in fact, it shows more strength. And that's what the champ did. Because a lot of the times when these guys argue about pay scales and all that, it's like doctors. Well, you know what? Not every doctor shouldn't get sued, man. You know, some of you are hacks. And it's the same with fighters. It's like, you know, I get it. I want everybody to get their fair shake and everything. But how about let's go through your record? How many of your wins you came overweight?
Yeah. No, and there are fighters who have done that consistently.
And I love when people have the ready. I'm not that much of a nerd, nor do I have the time on my hands. But I love when people have the fucking statistics about like, well, out of this guy's last fucking 7 wins, he was overweight in this many. And not only that, but wins when you came in overweight led to furthering career opportunities.
Unquestionably. And that's been, that just happens. That's the environment we're in right now. It's awful.
Shit. Yeah. So, and he tells the press to watch their fucking P's and Q's. You motherfuckers. You pen warriors.
That's so funny.
Oh, I loved it, dude. It was like the most balanced press conference I've ever seen, dude.
He's great.
I fucking love it. And he didn't pretend like Costa and everything was cool after that. You know what, dude? I was very disappointed in Costa because
he just stood there.
No, the attitude, man.
Whoa.
To me, that's not a martial arts.
The way
attitude.
he came out to the fight.
When I've been in sparring, and at my shitty civilian level, right? Okay. When I've been in sparring and somebody catches me, I consider it a thing of honor to acknowledge that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, good shot. And in fact, anybody that's ever sparred me outside of like an actual like serious sparring thing or a competition will tell you the first person to give you props for landing something on me is me. Because that's on me. If you landed on me, it's on me. In my mind, I let that happen. Okay. Yeah. You're not skilled. I fucked up.
Yeah, the defense failed.
You know what I'm saying? And so when I watch Costa take those fucking legs and go,
I'm so tough.
Bro.
Oh, and he's already...
Are you living the same fucking reality as what we're watching?
T-Rex arms. I mean, Stylebender had a good 6-7 inches of reach on him. And Stylebender's one of the few fighters who can use his reach effectively.
But the main thing about it, and this is, and of course, if you've ever heard me in fucking podcasts or in private speak about MMA, you've heard me gripe about goddamn leg kicks and the goddamn jab. And what does this man do? He sets everything up with the most obvious 2 fucking tools that you have. The leg kick and the jab. The jab keeps him at a distance. The leg kick compromises his ability to spring forward, whether it's with a strike or with a fucking shot. And guess what? When that guy is not well versed in both stances and that leg gets compromised and he switches, then you know the only thing he's trying to do is shoot. Now he's going to eat a knee because you know the only thing he's got is shoot.
Right, and we watched as by the second round, Paulo was so concerned about taking the leg kicks that he took a head kick. Right, and that's directly due to the amount of work that Izzy's putting to the leg kicks, right? He's having him think every time he's going to pick up his leg, it's going to come slam that leg.
Yep. And
it's beautiful.
Let's not just talk about leg kicks. Because, fucking Ken Shamrock used to throw leg kicks in 99, dude, But this motherfucker gives you a myriad of fucking leg kicks. He gives you the oblique push kick. He gives you the low calf
stomp
kick.
On the knee.
He gives you the mid calf. That low calf kick, that's your Achilles. That's your fucking Achilles. That mid one, that's the entire nerve. Sometimes you feel it all the way down to your big toe. Then you got the one right above the knee. That one has a tendency to buckle you.
Well, that's what happened to Cejudo. That happened to Henry Cejudo. And who else just lost the fight because his knee buckled or his foot buckled? Was it Kevin Lee?
Sugar Sean.
Oh, Sean. Yes, that's exactly what I'm thinking of. Sean O'Malley. Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah. He took that leg kick and his foot went out. And I always
criticize everybody that's fought McGregor because they haven't made him pay. He puts his leg way out there. But they give him so much respect elsewhere, which is well earned. I'm not fucking denying that. But I don't know how Conor can take a proper leg kick because no one seems to have landed it.
Yeah.
And I challenge anybody to send me the fucking clip of the goddamn round where they say that he's taking a good leg kick. I've seen every single one of his fights waiting for that fucking leg kick, and it's never come. It didn't come from Aldo. I don't want to. A little bit heated.
Well, I mean, really, nothing came from Aldo, though.
Nothing did come from Aldo, man. He said disappointment, heartbreak,
a lot of disappointment,
bewilderment, and a whole lot of frost. McGregor's like, frost Macron, Aldo.
Dude, you gotta stop.
It's pretty great. Listen, I'm with the champ, and the champ frosted.
He did. He humped Paulo.
I know, dude.
He came all over his.
You notice how?
Well,
everybody saw the hump, but they ain't talking about the hump yet.
Well,
the frosting's all over the crumb. Yeah. But no one's talking about the hump yet. It's gonna come because that was so fucking.
You know what
aggressive.
I saw Stylebender tweet out this morning?
What?
Quote, blacked.
Yeah, I saw that. Oh, that's right. Well, you know what? Listen.
When it happens, it happens. When you talk that much shit and then you get destroyed that way.
That's it, man. So it was.
My favorite thing about the fight is that someone messaged me telling me that Paulo Costa is going to destroy him, and I told him, nope, he's going to swing and he's going to hit air, and that's going to be it. And that's what happened.
And the worst thing is that Paulo didn't even do what got him to the dance.
Nope.
Which should have been a hellacious first 3 minutes. He should have had Izzy backing up and just like dealing with his raw fucking power. And he didn't do that.
Like just too much, too quick, too early.
That's it. You can't play a finesse game when you're not at a point in your striking where you can finesse. He's not. He's a brute. He can punch a hole through a wall just like anybody else in the high school team, dude.
He needed to make that fight into a brawl in a short area in a not very large range, and he completely failed trying to. And he had it appeared to have no second plan of like, okay, this isn't working, let's move to this. I was like, no, I'm just going to stand here and try to walk him down, and it just
never
happened. It was beautiful. As a unabashed Stylebender fan,
it was beautiful.
Since his second fight in the UFC. I'm so excited. I've been so excited to watch this rise. It's been so much fun to watch.
Yeah, there's nothing else.
The rocket ship.
Yeah, last night to me was like that moment where I was like, and giving it up to Anderson Silva and not getting crazy with the hopping of division talk or anything like that. I like.
You gotta respect it. You gotta respect. He wants to clean out the division. Yep. There's Cannonier, there's Hermanson, and then there's really no one. Unless,
by the way, there's no better time to do that because 205 is a disaster and heavyweight is thinner than shit.
Yeah.
So you're the big boy.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Which is kind of what Anderson had, right?
And when you're out here, because he does say, I'll go fight at light heavyweight. I'll go fight at heavyweight. I mean,
yeah, but the way he compared it to Anderson was good. He's like, how many times did Anderson defend? Well, that's what I'm talking about. And there's good fights. There are good fights at 85.
Yeah.
Wait for the right opportunity for everything else to come down.
Imagine if someone like Tyron Woodley were to move up to 180.
No, man, no.
For welterweight.
No. I mean, I like the Darren Till fight again.
They haven't fought before.
Oh, I thought they had fought.
They haven't fought.
So I like that fight
is
because
interesting.
of the matchup. I think it's interesting. I still give Izzy the edge at this point.
How can you not at this point? I mean, like, I feel like with...
I know Lionheart's coming back to 85. I wouldn't mind.
Is he?
Yeah. He already said that the 205 boys are too goddamn big after his last fight. I forget who he just fought. Texera, maybe?
Yeah.
He fought somebody.
No, it was before. That was a recent fight, but it wasn't Glover's last fight.
But I read it, and he said that he's thinking that these motherfuckers are too big.
Well,
he
that's
feels
interesting,
underpowered.
right? I mean, like, I think if... This is a weird name to throw out there, but like, I think if Chris Weidman can make a run at middleweight, he would be an interesting matchup.
I disagree.
The wrestling. We haven't really seen anyone be able to take Izzy down. Like, right? If there's a question.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
There's the question.
The last times that Chris Weidman got fucked up seriously was trying to wrestle his way into a striker's range.
Yeah. No, and like, right, that's very likely. And like, right, Chris Weidman is several fights away from even getting close to this type of talk. So it's not like this is going to happen anytime soon. You would have to see an involved Chris Weidman, which
and he's not improving. He has not been. He is not better. He's not getting any younger.
Nope.
You know, so. But it was nice, man. And then the 205 fight, I'm glad for.
I called Vion.
I'm glad for Blachowicz.
Yeah.
I think it's cool.
He's just so steady. He's just so steady. He's just so solid. The leg kick, the imprint of the leg on Dominic Reyes, it was great. It was beautiful.
Brutal. But that only exists in a John Jones-less world.
Well, and like, right, John Jones' tweet last night are great. Him just being like, well, this is weird. Well, boo. Well, maybe I'll go back and take my belt back. Like, I mean, he's kind of playing it great. You got to give it up for John Jones right now. He's kind of playing it great in terms of...
I've been saying that this year. I like the role he settled into.
Yeah.
Because he's still being the usual unlikable person that he is.
But he's kind of just...
And he's not trying to grandstand for the things that he's doing that are good for the community that he chooses to be in, which is not one that most people would choose to stay in.
Yeah.
So I have respect for him.
Speaking of his community of people who live there, Diego Sanchez.
Oh,
hot off the presses before the fight, Conor McGregor was talking about him fighting him. And you know what? I think I got to agree with Dana White. He said it best. They would lose their promoter's license if they made that fight, especially with the way Diego looked.
Well, the last two.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I bet specifically last night, he looked horrible.
With all due respect, I think Diego...
He's a warrior. He's a Spartan man.
You can't do that many drugs and be in the game that they're trying to be in. You can be a martial artist, but not competing at that level. He could still be a martial artist and a samurai the rest of his life and go on the path that he wants to be on. But that ain't going to lead to world championships, dude.
Well, he's let that go. He's talked about that. He's let that idea go.
Yeah, but I mean, at this point, that wasn't even an entertaining fight.
No.
You're not really showing up in shape.
Oh, didn't you see his Masvidal knee he threw out there?
You have clowns training you.
He had Stephen Bonner in his corner.
Yeah, you know how they hooked up?
No. Is it through the movement coach?
It was through a goddamn ayahuasca trip in the mountains. Since the Ultimate Fighter, Diego has been telling fucking Stefan to come out to Albuquerque and meet the devil or whatever the fuck people say that do a lot of mushrooms and shit in the desert.
It's DMT. It's not mushrooms. He's doing a lot of DMT.
They do anything, man. I don't think they're discriminating. You know what I'm saying? I think they watch Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas and they go, let's just see what happens. You know, like, that's it.
They're seeing a lot of devils.
But I saw a thing where they were out there for 3 days doing like some kind of retreat or something. So, which is whatever, dude. Like, hey, more power to you, man. If that's going to help you and whatever else, I just don't think that you do that and try to fight the motherfuckers that you're trying to fight. Now, you know what you do, Diego? Listen to me very carefully. I have 2 words for you. They're very beautiful words. I love them very much. Bare knuckle.
I'm so in. You've made me a convert. I'm so in.
Knuckle. Diego,
Sanchez.
Listen to me.
Diego.
Listen to me. Bare
knuckle.
Knuckle. That's your shit.
I hope he sees this in a DMT vision. I hope the spirits open up and it comes to him. Oh, bare knuckle.
And then I'd be like, Joe Rogan came to me in a dream. No, man, it's a knockoff. It was me.
Different bald dude.
Less than 1% viewership for podcast difference. But anyhow.
Are we ready to move on from UFC? Because if so, I have a great little segue we can talk about.
Yeah, one more thing I wanted to say. Last one. Dominic Reyes, man. This is why you don't talk all that shit about like, well, in reality, I beat John Jones. I won that fight. I mean, I give him 5 rounds. You're 30. The man that beat you is a year and a half younger than me. I'm old as fuck.
You is.
That fucking kick.
You is.
You know why that kick lands? Because your fucking elbow wasn't in the way, you fuck. That's how that kick lands.
It was a beautiful kick.
That was one of the most hellacious goddamn body kicks that doesn't drop somebody. I mean, like, dude,
you have to imagine it popped a rib.
Holy shit. I mean, it popped something. A hemorrhoid could have even. I mean, like,
someone's cherry in the non-existent crowd.
Unbelievable, bro. And the sound of the hook that is used to drop Costa too, because there's no fucking people.
Right.
Some of those sounds are just like amazing, man.
I loved Izzy's comments talking about how it was way better not dealing with the fan mob, and I was like, yes, correct.
Everything he said, dude. I was in. I was like, I'm in, dude. Like that's it. That's a chant. It's a goddamn chant. It's tremendous.
Well, speaking that you are the knockoff Joe Rogan, who is Mormon, right? You are Mormon. We do need to bring this back up. You are a Mormon Joe Rogan. Did you see that Spotify employees are all in a tizzy over Joe Rogan?
I did.
And his friendships with Alex Jones, Milo Yiannopoulos, Gavin McInnes, Stephen Molyneux, Molyneux, the Weinstein brothers.
I think it's ridiculous, of course. And what I challenge all those pussies to do is to have a fucking memorandum, release some kind of a fucking circular of some sort that explains why you didn't make these demands before the deal happened. Because it was above their heads. Certainly, because it was above their heads. A lot of them knew.
It was above their heads, Carlos. It was above their heads. They couldn't do it. What do you mean? They're just employees.
Listen.
It was a rumor going around the water cooler. And the next thing they know, Rogan, big, bad, scary Joe Rogan. He's going to force them all to hunt and eat meat.
And by the way, don't give a shit what your pronoun is. I don't need it in your commercials. I don't need it for banking. I don't need it for my pool guy. I don't give a fuck what your pronoun is. As a matter of fact, when somebody tells me their name, I don't go, well, I refuse to call you by that name till I see your birth certificate. If you told me your name is Mikey P, I call you Mikey P. If you tell me you're a woman, I don't give a fuck. I'll call you a goddamn woman. You tell me you're a man, I'll call you that.
You don't think,
but I don't need that in your introduction and in your fucking commercials.
But don't you?
Because that's not the real world. That's your tiny little insulated tech bubble where you pretend because you have access to the fucking technology that you can shape the fucking conversation. Fuck you.
But don't you think in a remote era it is necessary?
Absolutely not. Less than 1% of the population. No. And also, not until they're willing to talk about the psychological disorders that are undoubtedly associated with a lot of those fucking choices.
I'm asked in all my classes to put my pronouns in our Zoom calls.
Fuck that. Nope. A man's born with a dick. A woman's born with a vagina.
Yeah, but if someone wants to identify, who cares? They should be getting.
I know. I agree. But I also don't need that put in a fucking commercial. This is Zim. Their pronoun is them and
representation.
Theirs. Fuck your representation. No. This is, again, we're talking about less than 1% of the population. Fuck all of that. What do you
think of Caster? I don't know her last name. Samaya, the runner. Have you heard anything about this case?
No, but I will look into.
She's an Olympic runner who the IOC has tested her to have above because the IOC has a testosterone limit that you cannot exceed if you're competing as a woman.
Again,
and
does this human being have a male reproductive organ or female reproductive organ?
I believe she has female reproductive organ.
Then that's where the conversation ends for me.
But I also believe, and now this just could be propaganda against her, but I also believe I remember reading that she has some sort of intersex condition as well.
That's fine. Listen, here's the bottom line.
But hold on, let me finish. So, right, she had a ruling called against her because the testosterone in her body was too high that she needs to be on some sort of testosterone reducement.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit because the same fucking people are saying that it's okay to give 6-year-old fucking the same goddamn hormones.
Maybe not the same exact people, but people who are definitely in the same camp.
Lined
definitely
up.
The same camp.
Lined
for
up
sure.
people.
Definitely the same camp.
No, this is some silly shit. This is like, listen,
What do you do for high schoolers who want to compete in sports that are separated by gender, who feel that they are trans?
I don't care what you feel.
No.
I feel a lot of things. What you feel and what reality is are two different things, especially at that age.
Well, what policy is, what seems to be, right, is that they are allowed to compete in whatever gender they identify with. At least in certain states, because I know this has been an issue. Not an issue, but this just has been happening in certain states where there are transgender athletes competing.
And I'll tell you another thing that's probably going to be less popular than everything I've said on this topic so far. So gear up.
Strap in.
I'm okay with a woman doing it. A man's not allowed to. You're a fucking pussy. You wanna wrestle with a girl's tough man? Fuck you. If a girl is strong enough and game enough, fuck yeah, dude, let her. If a chick wants to win the US Open in men's golf and can, there is zero you can say to argue about it other than being an insecure man that got beat by a woman.
Sure.
That's it. There's no other fucking if and. But if you're a man who wants to go into the LPGA to outdrive them, that's bullshit.
But that's not, I mean, right? They make the argument that that's not their intention. Their intention is that I want to identify with what makes me feel most natural. And I still love the sport, and I would like to compete at a high level because I am talented at it.
Listen, in our justice system, we don't take the perpetrator's intention as to why they did something or didn't do something. So you know what, dude?
Yeah, but sports in the justice system is different.
Don't give a fuck about your intention. If you're a man, compete with men. You want to wear a dress and a wig and tuck in your wiener while you do it? Go ahead, sir. Go ahead. But you're a man and you compete with men.
But transgenderism is more than, as you said, tucking their wiener and dressing as clothes.
Which leads me, thank you for bringing that up, as a matter of fact. Sure. I appreciate that. You know what? Because it seems like your plate is plenty full. Shouldn't you figure this out first?
Maybe it's an outlet.
Well, now I want to be in the ATP and play tennis versus Serena.
Or maybe they've gone to a spot where they are comfortable in their new gender identity and they decide they want to compete in sports.
Yes, but maybe there has to be a way to evaluate that it's not just solely based on their word.
But other sports don't have to, but other athletes don't have to do that in sports. They don't have to justify their mental health to perform in a sport.
No, but they're not trying to convince you that their gender is different from what their assigned gender by birth is. So there's a different hurdle. Everyone's life is different. Everyone's challenges are different. So if you're trying to make exclusions for that type of treatment, then you need to understand why the exclusion needs to be made. And you need to be malleable to a compromising of both things. But that's a problem, is you want to trample over everything. Sure. Not you. I'm saying. No.
I'm being the stand-in for the argument.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? Like, they want to trample over all the norms over a very small minority. That's also not fair. Listen, I have no problem. I tell you this. I've said this before. I have never, you're my brother, right?
Accurate statement.
I don't have conversations with you about girls that I fucked before my wife and how I fucked them and what I did to them and what they did to me. So if I don't want to, okay, but here's the thing. If I've been at a table with a gay person starts talking like that for shock value. And if I say something, I'm a homophobe. No.
I think the person that's calling you a homophobe is just not being fair in the argument, though, right?
Well, yeah, but they don't have to be. Fairness doesn't, because they're the ones that have been unfair too. That's the whole point. That's why I don't subscribe to any of it, because it's like, if you're gonna come to me with a rational dialogue, that's fine. But if you're gonna pretend that because we have an animated dialogue, now you feel threatened, and therefore that represents me as something that I'm not, you can go fuck your mom.
Well, right, and I feel like the rational argument, at least regarding sports, is right like that. There are inherent differences genetically, and no one else is penalized. But because they're transgender, they're being penalized for their genetic differences.
That would be one of the challenges I would put to the little Spotify fucking lynch mob. What do you guys think of Fallon Fox? Should he be fighting ladies? Do you have sisters? Would you want him fighting your sister?
So I think Fallon Fox is a good example, but I also think Fallon Fox gets used as a strawman because, right, Fallon Fox was never at the UFC level. Let's be real. She was a regional MMA fighter who was lying, who was cheating, who shouldn't have been doing what she was doing. But she's the one example that you can point to, and it's like, well, yeah, no, duh, that's kind of a slam dunk case. But
I want. That's the whole thing, though, is that at some point, the only way to find a middle ground with people that are unreasonable is by posting something to them so preposterous that their disagreement with it just shows that they're not to be taken seriously because they have a maturity deficit to be able to deal with the reality of opposition.
Well, Carlos, don't you know everybody is special and everyone's opinion is valued and matters?
No, that's not true. That's not true. You know, I mean, I challenge them to go get a fucking mortgage based on their opinion. I challenge them to go get their next iPhone at the Apple Store with the other woke kid.
Carlos, don't you know everyone should vote because everyone's opinion matters? Everyone. I'm sorry, I have an unpopular opinion. Can I share my unpopular opinion?
This is weird because normally you don't have a.
I have an unpopular opinion. If you need social media, if you need Instagram, if you need your phone telling you, hey, you should register to go vote, I don't want you voting. You shouldn't fucking vote. That tells me you're not informed. You don't even care about how the vote works. Like, just stop. Stop. If you're posting on your Instagram, social media about, get out to vote.
I'm gonna agree with you and double down. I'll tell you another thing. I think that in the year 2020, a 100% allegiance to either political party makes you a moron.
I think the vast majority of people agree with you.
You know, you're a moron. And I'll tell you another.
At least I hope.
And I'll tell you.
At least I hope.
And I'll tell you another thing. If you vote Republican for any reason other than fiscal, you're also a moron. Now, I don't like the Democrats. I don't like the Democrats.
Values.
I will not vote for a fucking Democrat today. However, if you're voting Republican and you're not a millionaire, you're a moron. You're hoping one day you win the lottery. Probably not doing anything to make your actual money, but you're a moron. Unless you benefit fiscally from it, you're a fucking idiot.
Well, right. And the argument is like, right, you're voting for the party of small government. And it is very clear that neither the Republicans nor the Democrats give any zero shits about trying to be a party of small government. So I agree with you. I do.
Yeah. That's just, I mean, and that's the thing is that by all means, take up a cause. By all means, mobilize him however it is. But don't do it because you're getting baited by morons.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a cause near every American. I'll tell you this. I believe there's at least one cause near and dear to the heart of every single American man and woman that they could dedicate that energy onto and be more fulfilled as a human being and therefore a better fucking American. Totally. You know what I mean? Totally. It doesn't have to be the game of justifying versus accusing, because all they're doing is justifying their shortcomings on their side while accusing the other side of shit. And what's the other side doing? The same goddamn shit.
The
same goddamn shit. You know? That's what I was saying about all this stuff about defunding the police and all that shit. You know, now you're hearing about people that in California, when shit started hitting the fan, all of a sudden anti-gun wives were urging their husbands, now we need a gun.
Well, I mean, there's a gun shortage across America. There is an ammo shortage across America.
So maybe we should have, like, if we're really going to get authoritarian, I would like for it to start with all the public statements of people and their contradictions. Let's find the contradictions first and penalize them. And let's shame those fucking people. Hey, sir, you said. I mean, I just saw a thing on Facebook the other day. Some fucking chicken head mom. Well, she gets back from the
well, that's what you get for being on Facebook for longer than a minute or two.
Well, no, I mean, well, first of all, everything I find on one, I find across all three platforms.
Really?
Oh, yeah, 100%. In my age group, 100%.
Well, okay, I feel like that speaks to your age group.
100%. But the point is that this is a mom who virtue signals as an anti-vaxxer.
Incredible.
And she has she has a fucking whole thing on Facebook, and she's like, well, you know, and this is my impression of her.
Right, of course.
I went and I asked the nurse why we needed this booster, and she told me, and I was like, well, you know, that goes against my thing, and so then on their comments, the nurse is like, you know, I think you forgot we're friends here, and that's not what happened. And all I can say is that your son left with, and she's like, and I double check on everything I'm commenting here, and none of it is violating neither the company's practices nor HIPAA violations. But out of respect to you, the only thing I will say is that your son left with a happy face sticker and a lollipop for being such a good boy. So she went and vaccinated them.
Of course.
And then still had to fucking
virtue signal.
Yeah, which leads me to, oh shit, this is all threading, man. I'm afraid. Dax Shepard.
I don't know who the fuck Dax Shepard is.
Dax Shepard is a little fuckface that was in the TV show Punk'd with
Ashton Kutcher. Okay.
Not Catcher. He probably has caught before.
Sorry, I was thinking.
I'm just assuming.
I was thinking of the Pokemon trainer Ash Ketchum. My bad.
Oh, that's right. Good save. Good save, buddy. That fumble was picked up quickly and swiftly. To a gain. A half a yard, but a gain nonetheless.
Please stop. You're going to get away from this football now. You're doing well.
I know Ricky's head's blowing up right now.
But stop now. Stop now.
Next thing you know, I'm like, home run. And then it happens. So anyway, Dax Shepard is married to Kristen Bell, which is one.
The Twilight.
Maybe.
Okay.
I know her from rom-com movies and shit. But Dax Shepard was in the show Punk'd with Ashton Kutcher.
Okay.
And he's done some other movies since then. He did the reboot of the show Parenthood. It's a famous dude. But he's got a podcast that's kind of famous. Right now it's famous because he's famous and because he's married to a super famous chick. It's one of America's sweethearts. But anyway, it's called Armchair Quarterback or Armchair something.
Okay.
And so it's got a big following. But he's one of those fucking guys that's always talking about his sobriety and sober this and sober
Good for
that.
him.
And I used to be a fuck up and now I'm sober and sober this. Well, it turns out
he's been a fuck up.
He's been a fuck up before. So out of his 16, this is what I read today. This is what I read today. No. And you know, 16 years of alleged sobriety.
Oh no. He's pulling an Andy Dick.
8 years ago though, he had a motorcycle accident. And in Hollywood, of course, when you have a motorcycle accident, you talk to your Hollywood sponsor. And what does your Hollywood sponsor tell you? You know what, buddy? Take the painkillers, but give them to your wife. Have her administer them. That's not how sobriety works. It's not how sponsors work. And no one dies from pain. Okay? It's a pussy's way out. You can live with pain. So if you're an addict and you're already fucked up, maybe that's part of your addict fucking punishment. But you don't find a justification to take the pills. Anyway, so that was 8 years ago. At that time, the wife tells him, well, I don't see this as a dent on your sobriety because you're taking it as prescribed. Once again, what would Dr. Drew say? I would love for him to have Dr. Drew in his fucking commercial. See if he had integrity to goddamn tell him, this is bullshit. Because this is what this is. So 8 years of dabbling, right? Then at some point, of course, he fucked up. This year, he had a motorcycle accident earlier in the year.
Bro, how many motorcycle accidents do you have to stop riding a motorcycle?
Oh, he's like a sand dune guy and like a motorcycle desert type of motherfucker.
How many though?
Yeah, no. I mean,
how many?
For me, 0. I had 1.
How many times has Steve Cabarella broke a fucking bone?
Well, yeah, but he crazy. He crazy.
How many times has he gone to rehab? He's got like a freaking Flyers rehab for physical therapy.
Yeah. And he's a Christian. So with all due respect, I would not doubt that he also went to rehab.
I was speaking physical rehab. I was talking about like rehab.
I know Christian. Yeah. So there's a lot of addiction in skateboarding.
Well, of course there is.
And therefore now that they're in their 50s,
yeah.
there's a lot of Christ up in it.
Jesus
saves, you know.
Jesus
but in Dax Shepard's case,
he did not find the Christos.
Like a month ago or so, he had like a whole thing about his fucking 16 years sober. Now, mind you, this already happened 8 years ago. The thing where he started like taking painkillers in there because of the accident. So 16 years sober, the daughter makes him a little drawing about, I'm so proud of you and you're 16 years and all this bullshit. Just had he's been taking oxy and it was high that day. Now, this is what I'm talking about. These guys have a huge audience.
Yeah.
You know?
It's just lying.
A huge audience. And listen, you don't have to talk about addiction, but you go there though. Because it's profitable, right?
Yes, no, absolutely. It is.
Building.
It is. It's brand building.
You could just shut your fucking mouth and have your podcast about whatever and have it work just because you're a celebrity. But that's not enough. You have to take the low road and fucking tout.
Well, they're probably being told to do that, right? By a publicist,
because he started his own podcast himself. It's at his house. It's on his couch. I mean,
but you don't think he has like an agent or like a publicist that's told him?
Not until they're successful.
Yeah, I guess.
If there's no money, do you think that fucking if Terry Crews starts a rock band, there's an agent for it? That's just Terry Crews playing music in his fucking basement, dude.
Yeah.
That someone has to know that they can make money off your shit. To be, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
I guess that's true.
You know, I don't think Brendan Schaub has a fucking literary agent, for instance. Ain't nobody trying to get him to write a book. Well, he can't read a book, let alone write a book. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, no disrespect.
Man, no, I mean,
but I'm just being real. I'm just not, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, listen, who's my Bentley guy? I don't have a Bentley guy. Like, it's the same fucking shit. Oh, wait. Oh, no. But I got to be Dax Shepard and be like, oh, I'll give you my number. You need a Bentley guy? Yeah. Like, hold on. I have 3. Like, fuck you. Be a man. Be a goddamn man. And I know you got surgery in your face because you look like a saw puppet. Anyway.
So now that you've done ranted about this man who I do not know.
I think you know him if you saw
don't.
him. Nah.
No.
Well, good. Don't even Google
I'm not going to.
He ain't worth it.
I'm not going to.
Goddamn
Me and neither any of our 4 listeners are going to look at him.
I disagree with that. I know Ricky knows the Dax Shepard.
Yeah, but if they don't know, they're not going to Google it.
Nah, probably not.
No, probably not. For sure not.
Kristen Bell's pretty famous, though, because she did the Frozen movies, I think.
I think you're thinking of Twilight again.
Nah, man. That's Kristen. I know what you're thinking about now.
No, Kristen Dunst.
That was Kristen Stewart.
No, that's from Spider-Man.
No, that's Kristen Dunst.
Oh, shit.
Kristen Stewart's Twilight. Kristen Dunst is the other one.
Who's this one that you're talking about?
Kristen Bell. She's on the Samsung commercials.
Are you sure she's on Twilight?
100%. She's a little too old for it. She's like at least my age.
Okay. Is she also Mormon like you?
Maybe.
Scientology, probably. If you had to be a Mormon or a Scientologist, what would you be?
I'm Mormon. I'm Mormon. Are you crazy, dude? You crazy?
I mean, I don't know.
Nah. I think Scientologists have a little sugar in the tank, with all due respect. I'm not into that. That's not my jam. But anywho. So yeah, man. That's... Oh! Frank Mir.
Bare Knuckle. He's in the Bare Knuckle.
He signed with Bare Knuckle Fighting. So now we have
exciting.
Paige, Frank Mir. I'm telling you, we need to get
Diego.
some... Dude, this roster could be juicy because you have Thiago Alves there now. If Phil Baroni can stop drinking, evidently, he could be there. You got Lombard.
Why you got to besmirch his name?
You got Artem. You got Jason Knight. There's some good fighters, man. I'm excited for it. I'm excited. I know there's a card coming up in October, so that's going to be tremendous.
Spooky Halloween.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Halloween's canceled this year, I feel like.
It is my house.
I feel like it should be canceled everywhere. In this town, going downtown or out for Halloween?
It has to be.
You should not.
It has to
don't.
be. No,
Do
I
not.
mean, it's not a good idea.
It's not. I'm not trying to go to no Halloween parties. I'm not trying to go trick-or-treating. I'm not trying to go out.
I'm
staying home. My curtains are being drawn. I'm lighting some sage. I'm praying to the Lord.
If the governor's going to have some kind of ordinances that they're going to...
I know California did.
What are they? Well, yeah, but I mean, that fucking guy.
Well, I mean, he also outlawed, gas cars by 2035?
And today I saw another one, too. What the fuck did he do? Something with transgender... Oh, transgender people can go into any... bathroom or something like that. No, with the prisons, bro. Yeah, something to do with
interesting.
Yeah, they can get assigned to a prison of their
preferred gender.
That's what it is. Yes. So let's just wait for the horrible murderings
I feel like
that will happen.
I feel like prisons should be separated by sex, not gender.
Well, I mean. Fuck, man. I don't know what that guy's doing because I don't know that many wealthy people that are going to stay in that fucking state.
Clearly, I mean, a lot of them are I mean, I guess not a lot, but...
Well, there's no movies. Names. There's no movies, right? And they're killing tech. And taxation is ridiculous. And the fucking real estate...
I've been reading articles how, different areas, in Arizona and North Carolina are all kind of being little tech startup areas where...
Nashville.
Because it's a lot cheaper and more... It makes a lot more sense to live in than... LA.
Yeah. Silicon Valley. We'll see what they're gonna do because that's what always made it valid. I mean, there's beautiful parts to it, but it's a lot of work they need to fucking do over there.
Finished Married at First Sight season 9, about halfway through season 10.
Oh, tremendous.
Finished season 1 of Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai is incredible.
It's legit, right?
It's so good. It should be required watching for all people in the world.
I know.
Yeah. So should Married at First Sight as a warning.
But see, that's sort of think about the disingenuous of that, right? How many of the people that are loving Cobra Kai secretly in their personal life and their social media life are against some of the things that are celebrated in...
Oh, totally.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, the fucking... Sensei Johnny calls Miguel a pussy, for Christ's sake.
It's so funny.
Like, that's still allowed. I was like, yes, that's right. Don't be a bitch. Hey, don't you have some fucking poison or something? Yes,
that line was so good.
Metallica, the haters rule, right? And I love that dude with a beard, the fucking fat dude from the Home Depot.
I'm on season 2
Oh
yet.
shit!
Yeah, I'm not there yet.
Oh, I feel
my favorite,
I'm jealous of you.
My favorite line of the show so far has been when Miguel's like, Sensei Johnny, when am I going to start learning how to kick? Kicking seems badass. And he's like, no shit, kicking is badass. It's so stupid, but it's so good.
It's fucking good, man. It's a great show.
Yeah, I'll be watching it. I'm like fucking standing up doing karate. It's good. It's good. It's good. I got my katas good down.
It's fucking good. I love that show. It's one of those cool things that I can put on and my son will just sit down and watch it. Like we're in the sauna the other day and we're watching Cobra Kai.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Cobra Kai is a great show.
Good stuff.
It's a great show.
I watched also, I watched 2 documentaries this week that were fucking good. So one of them's on a guitar player, Jeff Beck, which is on Amazon Prime. And that was fucking amazing. But I watched another one that is also a music one, but it's kind of weird because I know something's good when I don't care about the subject matter, but yet it's a good documentary.
Yeah.
So this one's on a guitar player for Korn. The band Korn.
Yeah.
His name is Brian Head something.
You being a Mormon, not a fan of Korn.
Yeah. Well, he's a Christian now. He's a Christian man.
Hold on. Mormons are different from Christians, so.
But Christ is involved, I think, in both.
Not really. Not in the Mormonism. I mean, he's there, but not really. They kind of throw him to the side. No, they do.
Fucks with Christ.
I mean, they fucks with him, but it's not like. But Christ isn't like the Messiah in Mormonism the way he is in Catholicism. No, I mean, I know you're the Mormon here, but let me tell you your own faith.
Okay.
He's not. He's just kind of one of the dudes. He's just another prophet.
So they believe the little thief more.
Yeah, the little thief has much more.
That's their guy.
Yeah, your guy.
That's
your guy.
That's they do.
Joseph Smith, your guy.
The guy that was the only one that could read the rules.
Yeah, that dude. The guy who tried to translate hieroglyphics, and we have his translations, and they
don't make any sense.
They make no sense.
Yeah. But we
the guy who created the first transcript had it stolen by one of the wives, and he had to make a new one that was a little bit different because he couldn't remember exactly. Yeah, that guy. Your guy, Joseph Smith.
Yeah.
Your guy.
Yeah, JS. Yeah, that's what I call him.
The old JC and JS.
Shit. What the fuck were we talking about?
How you're a devout Mormon.
I'm not a devout
You
Mormon.
are so devout.
I'm not a devout
You're planning a South American building home trip mission
this
right now.
It's never going to go anywhere.
No, it is, because one day we're going to crowdfund you the money to send you to Peru so you can build some homes.
This is going to put you in jail for fraud, little man. Speaking of fraud.
No, because we're going to send you.
Speaking of fraud,
we're going to send
crowdfunding. Did you see about Brian Callen?
No.
So, one of the women that accused Brian Callen of, the one that specifically accused him of rape.
I thought it was only the one.
Well, there's 4 inappropriate things, 1 straight out rape.
Okay.
The straight out rape one, she's married to some other snowflake motherfucker who wasn't even around back then or anything. But now that guy's been calling. He's the one that got Brian basically fired because he called CAA and he called the studio. And he made a stink basically so that they would cut ties with him. He's been calling comedy clubs wherever Brian says he's going to fucking
perform.
He calls the comedy clubs. He calls them out on Twitter. Yeah,
this is incredible.
So Brian Callen sued his ass last week.
Holy shit.
So Homeboy started a GoFundMe to fight the charges.
And Homeboy is not as popular as Brian Callen on the internet, I assume.
Well, not only that, but Brian Callen's got his daddy's money too. So it's
I did not
just,
know that.
Oh yeah, Brian Callen's dad's rich.
Who's Brian Callen's dad?
They rich enough where he's not allowed to say how or why. He worked for the government in some kind of defense contracting or something. That's why whenever you hear
Is that why Brian Callen is like a pseudo-intellectual?
Grew up all over the place and in the Middle East and Afghanistan. Went to boarding schools and private schools and that kind of shit. Yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. But that guy started GoFundMe and it's all like, oh, whoa.
Incredible.
It's interesting.
Incredible.
It's interesting. But yeah. I saw that and I was just like, Jesus, this is just getting worse and worse. I mean, I don't know what you could do or what you should do, but that seems like maybe don't do that.
I have a random question. Do you think population would be better off if they watch more Alex Jones?
I don't think there's any difference between what they're watching and Alex Jones. Like, I personally don't see CNN and Fox to have any difference to Alex Jones.
They're probably equally as right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see... And like a lot of crazy people like Alex Jones, the problem is that it's like that Sunny episode. They are right sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like, conspiracy theories have proven to be right. Yeah. Things that people used to call other people crazy for years.
Well, like, right. I mean, we have the CIA mind controlling Charles Manson. Fact.
And Kaczynski and Operation Northwood and you know, there's a lot of shit that's crappy and creepy, man. So as long as you have that, then you know, like, I mean, I don't know that people are lizards, but I guess they could be. But I know that they're not. But I know we're not lizards. I know some of them look like lizards. You know what I mean? Like, I see the resemblance. So, the Queen of England.
She's just old. That's just mean. She's old.
Well, no. See, I've been listening to the conspiracy theory podcast that, Brian Callen.
And Sam Tripoli?
Yes.
Bro, you can't.
I'm on the Patreon.
Dog.
I'm on the Patreon.
That's like saying you're on. I feel like Sam Tripoli is basically an Alex Jones light.
A little bit.
Not a little bit. A little bit.
But here's the thing. The reason I like the podcast is because Callen is the anti-conspiracy. He's famously gotten into arguments with Eddie Bravo and all that shit. And Callen is a history major from a good school. So he does know a lot of shit. Well, Sam Tripoli's been fucking shaking. He's been shaking.
Sounds like you got to share your Patreon login with me so I can listen to this. That's what it sounds like, dog.
I'm not saying it's top notch, but it's not bottom notch.
All right.
You know what I mean? Like, let's say I haven't gotten down to Chael Sonnen's podcast in a while.
Chael's great.
Yeah, how dare you the podcast itself, the quality. And there's sometimes like fucking, when he starts talking about wrestling, I can't do it. That shit happened to me the other day with Brendan Schaub at fucking Mark Sanchez on there and somebody else. And then just started talking football. And I was like, no one wants to listen to this. I know that for a fact.
Mark Sanchez is like the butt fumbler guy from the New York Jets, the former quarterback?
Yes. That dude. Former UCLA or...
I'm coming to you not just as your brother, but as your friend. You gotta stop listening to Big Brown, dude.
No, I find it interesting. I mean, not interesting, amusing. Plus, the other people that are on the show, I like. A lot of them. Like the comedians and shit. It's pretty funny. Well, I mean, it's not like I'm thinking I'm getting quality out of it. Listen, some movies are The Godfather. Some movies are Matthew Mack. Frosting yourself.
Please stop. Please stop. I think that's it. I think with that, we should crumb our frosting and get out of here.
Let's frost our rumps separately.
You're disgusting.
Oh, shit. Cool.
Well, with that, right, we're done. You got anything else?
No, nothing good, man. I mean, like I said, catching up with everything else.
And with that is either episode 10, episode 11 of the Children of the Beast. Follow the show. Not follow the show. Find the show.
Find it.
Follow
it soon.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Soon.
Find it on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, wherever. Look up Children of the Beast podcast. It's important to put that podcast there at the end. Leave a review, like and subscribe, leave a comment, do all the things. You can follow me at Andrew_the Hut on Instagram and Twitter. Carlos is at 1980 Wolfchild.
The other way. Wolfchild 1980.
At Wolfchild 1980. And yeah, that's it.
Cool.
Go draw a pentagram somewhere in a school playground. Maybe not school playground. That seems like that would probably get you on some list. On a church?
Go trigger somebody.
Go trigger someone. Go buy a gun. Go get protected.
Find somebody and just trigger them. That's it. Just trigger somebody.
Don't trigger the gun, but find a gun for home protection if you don't have one.
Yeah. I mean, trigger their emotions is what I mean. Trigger somebody's emotions. Make them grow.
Make them what?
Make them grow.
Oh, I thought you said cry. Make them cry.
That too. I mean, sometimes you cry or grow.
Okay, we're done. Fuck this. Bye.